Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Kasia from Tarot Map, and this is the summary of 2023. It was a huge year for so many of us, right? So I'm not going to take a very long time to go over everything because there's like millions of these videos right now. But I do wanna do this video because I think it's important to look back and reflect. And I'm going to show you a couple of decks from this year, and I think I'm going to do another video, maybe a live. Maybe with somebody, maybe with Natalia, showing off our favorite decks from 2023. I also was planning of doing a video of all my decks from 2023, so stay tuned. But let's move on with what 2023 has brought, what have I learned during 2023. So I started, but in the beginning of the year, I went to Vipassana, a 10-day silent meditation retreat. This was the fourth time I went to, practice meditation, and I took this deck with me. And usually to Vipassana, you are not allowed to take any books or read. So I haven't read it, but I made an effort to pull a card a day during one of our breaks, and this deck became like really, really special to me. So this is the EME Oracle by Aminat Oladipo, and if I was to choose one Oracle deck from 2023 that has fulfilled my Oracle kind of wishes, what a good Oracle should be, I would pick this deck. It's an amazing deck. It's the book is great. I love the art. It always gives me amazing readings and very powerful. I take the messages from this deck seriously. So this deck, the EME Oracle, was one of my favorite decks of 2023. I think I would add to it Kanti G Oracle maybe as another one, because it's also very soulful, beautiful artwork and very, very good booklet. From the beginning of the year also, I was studying with Belinda Gore. I don't know if you remember Belinda from Ancient Ritual Postures. She has invited me to join one of her online classes when we were actually practicing postures during the shamanic journey that Belinda was leading online with a group of 6 or I don't know, there was 10 of us maybe. And hello to everybody, if anybody of these beautiful women is watching. And you know how much I love Belinda's deck. I have an interview with Belinda as well, so you can find out more about this deck. But it was great to actually see Belinda at work and practice the postures. I had, we were doing the shamanic journeys during the group meetings with certain postures. We were writing or drawing whatever we have experienced in our notebooks. We were also sharing it with all the other women or in small groups. It was a really great experience, so I'm very grateful that I got to do it with Belinda. And this deck, I highly, highly recommend this deck. It's wonderful and such a great idea as well. Ancient Ritual Postures was also present in 2023 for me, which I love it and appreciate this deck so much. So 2023 saw me move from the city to the country, and I have been mulling over it for the last maybe 2 years. We have been looking for places in Croatia, in Poland, we were trying to get something in Croatia, but it just didn't happen. But we did find a home, not only a house, we found a home in the end, not so far away from my city in which I lived, where my family lives, and we moved to the country. That happened in accordance to the Jupiter cycle, and I'm following, all my cycles since 2005, I think. I'm an astrologer, tropical astrologer, but also 2023, which I'm going to talk about, brought a shift in my astrology practice a lot as well. But the move to the country has really you know, like satisfied my wish for being closer to nature, for being maybe a little bit away from the hustle and bustle of the city. Whenever you're in the city, you're a bit more involved in all these kind of collective dramas. And here I kind of can talk to the trees and walk around. And I have a dog. 2023 brought us a little dog. He chose us, he came to us, we love him, it's wonderful. So moving to the country, I would say, gave me like a lot of opportunity to shift my perspective on many things in life, I guess. Some of my priorities changed, you know. I don't go shopping, my village has no shop. So I'm using what I have, and I have a lot because I used to go, you know, second-hand shopping, and I used to just, it was fun in the city to do it, right? Here you have to like do different things, you don't give a fuck. So one of the cool decks that I got this year was the 50 Plants That Heal, which, you know, it's a plant deck, but I just love how beautiful it is. It's a mass-produced deck, it's not expensive, and it's got writing in the back. I just love the idea of how they structured the artwork. Like they took the plants apart a little bit and photographed every little bit of the plant, which I love. So this deck and practice of sitting with nature, being closer to nature, being quiet, was really lovely. And also Lina from Fire of Transformation, she kind of advertised this deck to me. It's called Wild Alchemy Lab. And it's also one of those kind of magical alchemical decks. It's got different practices you can do with the plants. This one also has astrology added and different, you know, you can make flower essences and so on with all these different plants. What's great about this deck that these plants are all growing around me, which is just great. It's the European plants. So these two decks plus many other decks that I already had, plant decks, essential oil decks. I love this deck. I use it all the time for client readings. If you had a full reading with me, or what do I need to know right now reading, most likely you would have a card from this deck. You know, I've made a lot of flower essences this year. And so plants and flower essences, essential oils, they like forever present in my practice every year. But this year, because I was in such close proximity to nature, they were like present. And so we visited Croatia once for a couple of weeks only this year, which was lovely. We have many friends there. So I had like little holidays after we moved and renovated the house. And, you know, it's just a lot of hassle to do that. And at the end of 2022, I really shifted my perspective on how I see astrology. So I started learning about constellational astrology, which is called the true sidereal astrology. One of my wonderful friends from the Deep Play Divination, she has sent me we swapped for reading for the box of stars with, you know, these gorgeous images of constellations, and you can also see like the stars like punctured into the paper. So the book is really great too. So I have been learning from this. I mostly have been learning by actually observing with an app the night sky and learning what I can see outside. I also have gotten this Manzil Tarot by River Mothers by Rebecca, and this is an interesting take. It's a pip deck, but it has some wonderful in majors. She chose different constellations and Manzil mansions, so moon mansions, lunar mansions, and ancient equinoxes. So this deck is also a pretty cool to practice and learn a little bit more and from a little bit different perspective about stars. Patrick from the Living Wheel Tarot, he also went through his, rebirth with astrology, I guess, and he has added to his Living Wheel deck Ophiuchus card, the 13th constellation of the ecliptic. So you can get this extra card if you have this deck, and if this is, you know, something that you will be following. I've used a lot the holistic astrological cards by Karnitsor, because in my spiral astrology readings I do use her realms, astrological realms. So you know, if you have gotten one of those readings from me, you probably have seen all of these decks mentioned, featured, because it's one reading that has a lot of imagery as well. But one of the most amazing and kind of instigator for my transition, and transition, when I say transition, I'm still using tropical, because what the Real Sky Astrology made me to do is to do a lot of research into what I'm doing as an astrologer, you know, and I never really kind of thought about it too much. Astrology worked for me. I have been using it for 17 or 18 years, and it has been always proving itself to do just fine, you know, like all the cycles, everything was like working for me and still is working for me. I use tropical astrology cycles. I think tropical astrology is perfect system, man-made system, but a perfect system to measure time and to measure cycles. So true sidereal astrology made me question tropical, and I did question tropical this year. And what's great about it is that it made me find new appreciation for tropical system, and at the same time you know, also critical points about it, and add this celestial astrology, right? The proper kind of meaning of astrology is to follow the stars and the motions of the stars. So to add that level to my understanding, learn and reconnect with the stars was like just a blessing of 2023. So Julie Kuchia Watts was one that I mentioned that was the instigator in 2022, and we have been following, you know, our conversations, and I hope we will be doing a class this year, maybe on Saturn with Julie, and this will be based on your constellational chart. So what constellations actually were activated during your birth, and anybody who, you know, will take part in the class will receive this chart of the constellational birth. But Real Sky Astrology Tarot by Julie Kuchia Watts, I think it's one of the top 5 decks of 2023 for me. I love this deck. I love her imagery. I use it again in every spiral astrology reading. You will see Julie's deck. Also the workbook for this deck, I think Julie's editing this deck, this workbook right now. I'm not sure if the new one has come out yet or not, but this workbook, it's interesting. I you know, I have learned a lot about ancient Egypt and tradition of astrological signs and constellations based on Julie's work. So thank you, Julie. And if you're into astrology, into Real Sky Astrology, the Real Sky Astrological Tarot, it's available on Make Playing Cards, I think. So you can get it there. They're really wonderful, a wonderful deck by Julie. And also another deck that speaks about precession and different eras that I also got in 2023 from Julie. There's a version like the previous one on Make Playing Cards that you can get, but I think Julie, if you write Julie, she still has a couple of decks left from this first edition, which is, you know, a little bit wider and has a gloss on it, and I love it. It's like matte tarot. So this is also a wonderful resource for if you want to learn about ages, precessions and astrological ages, as another additional measurement, you know, and it's really great also. So Julie's decks were very inspirational to me in 2023, as much as the stars and and astrology and the true sidereal astrology. So the reconnection with the real sky, really amazing, and appreciation of tropical at the same time. This is just me. I can do it. I know that not many people can do it. Not many people need to do it. Not many people need to work with all the systems. You know, I just love systems, and especially when they work. And I know that tropical works really perfect for measuring time on Earth here. So the dog I mentioned, also discovering and having magical, you know, synchronistic events that happened a lot this year. You can watch one of the videos I made about this amazing flintstone that I found, and that led me to these old burial grounds that are just around the corner from me. Just wonderful, wonderful, magical happenings. I have also, so what did I study this year? Okay, before, I don't want to make it like forever video, but I studied a lot. In general, I'm a Sagittarius, tropical Sagittarius, and I study all the fucking time. Okay, I love learning. So what I studied, as I mentioned, constellations. So you saw that. I studied Haggitude in October 2022 till October 2023. It was a year-long program by Sharon Blackie, and I studied with a lot of women from all over the world and a lot of teachers, like guest speakers. We studied menopause and the initiation, the blood mysteries that all women go through. So there was a lot of learning for me specifically, because I'm still in my perimenopause. I'm still having my periods regularly, but learning from women how they experience this transition, having all these different subjects that were, you know, kind of connected to menopause was wonderful. I did get this Goddess Tarot, Goddess of Love Tarot by Gabriela Herstig, and I feel like, I don't know, maybe because it's red and blue in my in my case, but it's a perfect deck for just work on divine feminine. This one I think has a nice mix of all these different archetypes, from, you know, Maiden, Mother, Maga, and Crone. The other deck that is amazing for this type of work is Circle of Doors Tarot, which even in the court cards has the Maga archetype, which is amazing, because that's what I learned throughout this Haggitude program with Sharon Blackie and all these women, that maybe before that, in older times, women, you know, were dying close after the menopause. So they actually were in the elderhood, cronehood when they hit menopause. Right now we live much longer, and we actually, as women, when we experience menopause, this is when we experience a lot of like concentration of our power. So to see in Circle of Doors this, you know, these 4 stages of womanhood was actually really amazing, and that's what I learned during this Haggitude program as well, that we can add that new archetype in some way, like a magician, feminine magician archetype, to this evolutionary kind of triplicity of the goddess. So Circle of Doors Tarot was one of the most amazing decks of 2023 for me as well. Really, really wonderful. I studied also Braided River, and I'm still studying it. So I started in April last year, 2023, and I'm going to continue for a couple of more months of 2024. And this is by Caroline Hillier, of course, and this is with the Weaver's Oracle. So I have been doing a lot of ritual. This is Braid, my Weaver of 2023. I have been doing a lot of ritual, and I have been working a lot with the archetypal women, archetypal ancient grandmothers, or archetypal ancient ancestors, and that has been deep, and that also coincided in some way of me moving to the country and really reclaiming this power of like cooperating and reintroducing myself to the land here. So Braided River by Caroline Hillier was really wonderful, and it just sparks so much in me. I actually, when I'm talking about it, this is another deck that I really, really loved in 2023. I know it came like nearly at the end of it, but it actually feels such a great deck. I love using it, and especially I love using it in nature because it's so universal and kind of feels primal. It's called Remembering the Sweet Fool Tarot. It's by Trisha Murray, and I love her decks, and this deck is no different. So I keep using it a lot for myself, for my own readings, also for clients. I started using it, you know, I haven't known it that well, but this is going to be a great deck for me. I love this deck. So I'm actually surprised that I love it so much, because I wasn't sure. I thought, oh, maybe it's too abstract, but no, it's wonderful. And another one that took me also closer to nature was this Magical Nature Tarot, which has this amazing paper made from plants, and all the colors on the cards are made from all different, you know, minerals, plants, pokeberries, and so on. So it's wonderful. You hold kind of nature in the paper, you know, in the palm of your hands at all times. So this is really great. So these decks have been just wonderful to have and to use. I have studied also with Catherine Soley. I've been actually following her for most of 2023. I've gotten some flower essences from her. She's the lady who does the poisonous plant medicine courses, and I studied with Catherine this first level of her course. I highly recommend her work. I really love her Patreon, and I've done a lot of flower essence work beforehand. She's specifically working with poisonous plants, which was really interesting. So I love this oracle, which I use, this botanical astrological oracle, or what is it? Give me one sec, I want to bring it forth. This one. It's Magical Botanical Oracle. So this deck was really cool to work with in 2023 as well, specifically when I was doing the course with Catherine. It was good to have depictions of the cards, and the work by Maxine Miller was just beautiful for poisonous plants. I loved it. So yeah, this course was really great. I've learned quite a lot, and she was also doing shamanic journeys with plants. So Catherine Soley, Caroline Hillier, Belinda Gore. I've done a lot of shamanic journeys during 2023. I returned to playing my drum. In general, I kind of moved from my Mary practice, like with all the kind of imagery of, you know, Catholic Mary that surround me. I still love them, but Mary has evolved for me into this nature, like more shamanic approach. And I think this year it will be deepening this connection to nature. It will be deepening my work with plants and seeing Mary more like animism, you know, like Mother Gaia and Mother Nature. So I think, you know, I have to mention another deck that I just love. It's this fucking Cozy Witch Tarot deck. And I've just done a couple of readings with this deck for the clients now, for the Where's the Full heading in 2024 readings. And it is such fun deck to use for readings. It's a little bit like a mix between oracle cards and tarot, because it has like a little sentence here. But they're so smart and they're so sweet. The approach to tarot archetypes, it's really cozy. I love it. So I have to mention this deck as one of my favorite decks. And since I was talking about all this kind of shamanism and approaching this shift of perspective of the divine feminine, really moving into like observance and coming like a little bit back to, you know, what I was anyway always practicing when I was creating wands. I was spending so much time in nature and connecting to all these elements, working with the stones. Now I'm so much more even for working with like this magic of land around me and really doing it locally. So that was what I studied: constellations, Hagitude, braided river, poisonous plants, ancient postures. And just as this year started, I'm studying again, and I'm doing, you know, with Kristen from Over the Moon Academy, we are doing the hexagrams. There is a challenge called 64 Hexagrams Challenge, and Kristen is you know, sharing with us some of her resources of how we can learn about observing hexagrams, which is nature. So I'm going to look at hexagrams not so much as, you know, coins and cards and so on, even though I love that too, and I will be doing this, but I want to see them in nature and see actually the elemental power of them. So what else? I got this Deva Tarot by Piatnik, and it's kind of like out of print deck, right? It's not like you can't buy it. This comes with German booklet, but I can tell you where to get it. If you are interested, you can. This has 5 elements in it. If you want to find out where you can get this deck, I think, well, it doesn't seem like it's, you know, like a fake deck or some bloody, you know, like how do we call these people who like copy your deck and just sell it? It's not spam, or it's not copy. It seems like the paper is really kind of vintagey, like Tech Tree. It's not the greatest paper, but I can tell you where to get this deck. So if you're interested, you might be able to get it. I'm pretty sure they're sending, because I think it's from Czech Republic. I'm pretty sure they will send it, you know, all over the world anyway. So write in the comment Deva Tarot, and I'm going to answer if you're interested in this particular deck. It's vintage. It's vintage. It came out firstly, I think, does it say even in the book what year was it? 86. So yeah, definitely 86 now. It's vintage. I was 10. I'm going to make another video about my favorite decks and so on. This one I just wanted to illustrate for you, but I also received, I just mentioned, a couple of amazing Tarot de Marseille decks. So Tarot Ambiguities, Little Solesio Tarot, just Majors Only, cute as, from, you know, also the Vieville Tarot from Artisan Tarot. I received Tarotchi 23 from Wonderful Gergely. I received the Peep Speak from Zara, from Kitten Chops Tarot. Wonderful, like the cutest deck ever. I have a couple of oracles to share, a couple of other decks, but I'm going to share it with you in the next video. So yeah, this was my experience of 2023. I think, you know, in the end, I can say it was an amazing year for me, because it was like a very like tipping point, you know, like I came to complete cycles and start new cycles. And it really went really well with my tropical astrology cycles, with Jupiter return and so on, with the precession also of my ascendant, so profession, oh my god, sorry, I just like blanked now. But yeah, it was just fascinating to see the cycles at work, and the longer I observe my cycles, the longer I fucking love tropical, and I love celestial. For the real sky astrology, I'm using the midpoint method and the system created by Aten Chimenti, and yeah, I'm just, you know, I'm still observing, so I can't really express my hugest appreciation for the cycles according to the stars, because I haven't done it for that long. But I definitely can express my hugest appreciation for tropical cycles, because even though it's a man-made system, it's still following the sun and following the changes on Earth, and it works like a fucking clock. So anyway, so many decks to show you. Next video. Thanks for listening and watching. I'd love to hear, you know, what you guys experienced. Have you done Vipassana ever? Share with me in the comments. Please hit the like, subscribe, like, give me some love please for 2024. I would love to expand this channel a little bit more. I'd like to do more educational videos, so I'm planning, but you know, I don't want to speak on it, because whenever I speak on it, I have a minute of doubt and then it never happens. So I'm just going to leave it at this. I see you soon. Bye.